What's going on, fam? It's the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, Lucky Murray, and I'm back with another Gamecock news. And yes, it has finally happened, guys. I didn't think it was going to happen this year. I really didn't. I was on record of saying that I didn't think this was going to happen this year, but I think this is the best thing that ever happened to us this season. One, not playing Clemson because we probably got our doors kicked in, and two, Muschamp being fired, and two, not playing Clemson because we looking like a JV team over here right now. But it's been reported by all sources that we parted ways with Will Muschamp, a.k.a. nothing is wrong. We just need to make a few adjustments in order for us to have a good game. Man, I am so excited. I had to rush to the computer to do this video. I'm not even on the face cam or whatever because I was so excited, man. Thank God this happened. And, man, when I see this news, like I said before, Gamecock Nation, we are rejoicing right now. But I'm going to tell you why I think that there needs to be a few more firings here. But let's get to Will Muschamp. Will Muschamp, Gamecocks parted ways with Will Muschamp. This is a story that's been brought to you by the Big Spur. It says Will Muschamp is no longer the head football coach at South Carolina. Muschamp, who was hired in December of 2015, was removed from his position on Saturday, just a day after his team's 59-42 loss to Ole Miss. Offensive coordinator Mike Bobo would be the interim head coach, which I do not think will last too because Mike Bobo is whack. Let's keep going. Muschamp finishes his career at South Carolina with a 28-30 overall record with the Gamecocks and a 17-22 mark in the SEC. The Gamecocks were 2-5 this season, and he finished his career with 3 straight losses, all by 3 scores or more. And this was supposed to be the defensive genius. We gonna keep going. A defensive mind coach who built his career on being a coordinator on the side of the football for LSU, Auburn, and Texas. Muschamp oversaw a defense this year that allowed, get this, 464.4 yards per game, which is 12th in the SEC, and 36.7 points per game, which is one spot from the bottom of the league. Guess who's probably at the bottom? You guessed it, probably Vanderbilt. Muschamp tenure started with at South Carolina, which, by the way, those were spurious players, winning 6 games in his first season, leading the program, and then winning 9 in his second season, which included an Outback Bowl victory over Muschamp. The Gamecocks finished second in the SEC East that year, which would end up being Muschamp's highest finish at South Carolina. The Gamecocks went 7-5 in the regular season in Muschamp's third year in charge, but got whopped 28-0 in the Belk Bowl, which was the third loss in 5 games to end the season. Right? I'm going to stop right there, guys. I'm going to stop right there because here's what's happening. Here's the thing. If we were projected, we won 6 games, then won 9 games, and then we digressed back to 7.5 games. And a few of those games, I have to go back into the season and look at it, but I believe few of those games, we should have been an 8 or 9 win team that year as well. But we lost games we should have won. So we was projected to go up. By year 4, year 5, we're supposed to be a 9 to 10 win team by this point, depending on the trajectory that happened in the first 3 years of Will Muschamp's career. So, year 5, these are your players. You cannot shift blame to anybody. It's not Spurrier's fault. It's your fault. These are your players, and you have to implement your system. You have never been a very strong head football coach, even at Florida. But Dan Mullen took your players and won 11 games in the SEC East his first year and got those players rocking and rolling. So can Muschamp recruit? Yes, he's a good recruiter. We're top 25 every single year. Muschamp was at South Carolina. But here's the thing. If we're top 25 in the nation, but number 8 to 10 in the SEC, what ground are we gaining in recruiting? And okay, recruiting's not all that. You could take players and mold them. But again, it's all about system. Will Muschamp has never had a legitimate system, especially on the offense or defensive side, and he never had the players that could compensate for his lack of knowledge on the offensive side. When has South Carolina ever had a top 25 defense in the nation? or even in the SEC. We never had we had an okay defense, but we never had a really great defense, despite having really good players on the field. When you make $3.3 million a year, we do not blame kids for what they do, because those kids are there on a scholarship because you don't pay kids to go to college. But you're paid well. And this falls strictly on Will Muschamp. And for Mike Bobo, he should, man, look here. He got to go too. Because if you think Colin Hill is the answer at South Carolina, you are fooling yourself. You're not fooling the fans of South Carolina. So he got to go too. And also another person that needs to go, Ray Tanner. Ray Tanner was the one that hired Will Muschamp, and he also was the one that gave him this whack extension. So we're in the predicament that we are in now because our athletic director turned baseball coach, who thought Will Muschamp was the guy, but clearly, if you saw his track record, Will Muschamp has never been a successful head coach at all. And at LSU, Auburn, and Texas, LSU was with, I believe, gosh, I'm drawing a blank. That was when Alabama coach Nick Saban was there. Auburn, I think he was there with Cam Newton. Was there? I'm not believing. Texas was Mac Brown. He had really good head coaches that he was the defensive coordinator with. So what makes you think a defensive coordinator could end up being a really, really good head coach? So, man, I'm so glad. But I pray that Ray Tanner gets fired too as well. And it's not about people get fired, people lose their job, but people need to be held accountable. And that was his hire. He needs to be held accountable too. He needs to get his bags and pack it, or at least let him be the baseball coach. He's an awesome baseball coach. He is not a great athletic director. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Will Muschamp is finally going to South Carolina. Will, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. But let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. But until next time, people.